Hello and welcome back to the No Excuses podcast. My name is Anne and I live in Worcestershire with my husband Tom. Today is Sunday the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. I did a quick episode last week, about 8 days ago, YouTube says. It was on the Friday before going to Wonderwool on the Sunday. And I forgot to look at the comments afterwards. I'm sorry, because I was just all sort of... And I was like a child. I've been behaving. But I've got my notes. Now, these notes look quite scant, but there's going to be a lot of chatter, I warn you. And if this is going to be too long, then obviously stop and start me at your will. YouTube is very good at remembering how far you got along a video, isn't it? It's one of its advantages. Today we have got, I still can't think of another Mao, so I'm going to postpone that to replace the jump along. I'm going to postpone that until next time, because we've still got two running. I've got no new finished items and a very little thing to show you in progress. I might have some incoming, be warned. Which in itself I want to talk about, and I also want to have a quick chat about advents at the end. So let's start, shall we? I may or may not have said this is episode 98, and we have two make-alongs running. There's the double-along, which is holding 2 strands or more together, or doing colour work, which if it's got colour in it, it means, by its very nature, it's got more than one strand that you're using on the whole, whatever you're making. It doesn't have to be a garment. This is my Odette, which is a pattern by Sari Norlund. It's a crew neck, and I've realised, I probably said last time, I've knit 3 crew neck top-down jumpers in one go, one after another. It's time for a rest, and it's going to be cardigan land from now on for a little while, and would like a v-neck jumper as well. But that depends on what I've bought as well, doesn't it? Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This is knit with mainly Botanical yarns held together with one of their own Mohair silk, which I've shown you many times. So I wore this to Wonderwool, and I'm wearing it again before I put it in the wardrobe. I have not blocked it. I honestly don't feel the need to block it. It might get a spritz if the weather continues to be good. I need to block my city limits. I can't show you that, although it's finished. And I've sewn all the ends in now on the neck. Can't show it you because the bottom keeps curling up. And I may find that when I'm only going to spritz it because I don't want it to grow too much. Because I've got a sneaky feeling when I look at it, it's too long for me. There you go. I mean, in theory, that means I could give it to somebody else as a gift, but I'm not going to part with that beauty because I really, really like it, and it's going to become a house jumper. So the winners to the 800 subs and the Blossom giveaway will be announced a bit further on. I don't know why people do that, but I've got into the habit of doing it, so this time I'm going to stick to it. Because most of you watch me all the way through, perhaps, or if you don't, all those bits you get fed up of. The moaning bits. But yeah, so no finished items, and I've made a little bit of progress on my Lento. I'm now about nearly 5 inches down the body. But I haven't been able to knit very much. I keep getting stiff in the arms and it's annoying me, so I did something else instead. I don't know, I don't live in the blame culture, or so I tell Tom, I don't like to think about blaming, but who should I blame for wanting now to cast on many things at once, when I used to be a 1 or 2 project girl and get through them before I did something else? Don't know, but I just had this sudden urge, because I've got minis out and I'm making those little 3 round granny crochet squares, which I must have about 400 of now, and they're all different colours. They're mainly merino or merino nylon superwash. I'm not sure whether I want to mix my BFL with them because they're a completely different tone. So I'm a bit, although they're both cream to start off with, I think merino might be a bit paler as a base. I'm not sure. Should have had a look, shouldn't I? I was on Wonderwool because the Chester Wool Company was selling all their bases there, undyed bases. Yeah, so because I've got all these minis out, because I'm very good at starting things and not finishing them, I realise, even sentences, that I come across things, I think I want to make something else out of that before I put it away or it disappears into something else. And I continually have this ongoing battle of wanting to make the best thing possible out of every scrap of yarn that I really, really like. So I started another tiny, well, it's tiny because there's only 3 squares, but it's only went 21 stitches on 2.75 needles. And it all started with that one at the top, the variegated one, which I think is a Caroline that I bought from Ange of Yarn and Yarns. It either came as a sock set or something in part of her D stash. I'm sure that's where it's come from. And then I've taken colours out of that to put one each side because I just had to have them on me. So this is a 21 stitch and it's turning out to be very, very small. I've got a loop there actually where I picked it. I'm thinking, oh look, I've picked that up wrong, but I haven't. It's a blanket. When I go back that way, I can close that little bit of a hole. It's only where the two join together. I get so pernickety sometimes. I drive myself up the wall. The other thing I don't do very well is I know which way the direction the centre spine's going. And they're all going in the same direction at the moment because my mitre square blanket that I use at night regularly until it's very warm, they're not all going the same direction, which annoyed me a bit. Or frustrated me really, because I find the longer I'm out of work, it's 10 years this year, the less my brain works properly. So I've done that, and this came as part of my advent from Sal. Hello, Sal. This was a tenner. I showed you this last time, I think. This is part of the Get Your Kit Off. And look at me. I'm doing some kit. And I've done that much cross stitch. Let's see if I can show you the photograph of the picture of the whole thing. No, I can show you that. That's the chart. It says love in it. It is, let's face it, though, this is a tenor girl present from one of the tenor girls is very crafty. One of them is very arty but doesn't do many crafts or any crafts. But my friend Nick, because there is a Nick and a Nikki, that's confusing. But Nick has done a bit of knitting and now she's mad on cross stitch. And the last time I spoke to her a couple of months ago, I'm seeing them on Wednesday, she was doing the test card, you know, the girl holding up the dolly that we had on the BBC for years when we were kids. She's doing the test card of that. Now, I can't remember whether she said she was doing the monochrome or the coloured version. Anyway, Nick bought me this as a cross-stitch kit because she knew I'd do it as part of the tenner gift bag. It is cheap, though, and you can tell it's cheap because I can't get my needle into the hole, especially when there's already a couple of strands through it. So, and I decided I'm going to take it off the hoop as well. I put it on the hoop originally, but that was hurting my hands. So I've taken it off the hoop and I'm making a little bit of progress on it. Get your kit off. It carries on to the end of September, is it? Or July. It's down below. So, yeah, please enter. Otherwise, Anita's going to walk away with the prize because she'll have 90% of the entries. I'm going to need to cut out the laughing, aren't I? Because it's not good when you laugh at yourself. So it's just an Egypt. Okay, right, we're going to get straight on to incoming, because I'm only going to show you some of the incoming, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But so some of these things were given to me, and some of these things were, and then I'll tell you the things that I bought. I did that lovely shawl. I say lovely, it wasn't my pattern, wasn't my yarn. I was just a knitter for Angela and Andy at Attic Spin Dye. We gave it to them. Penny had blocked it for me, and Angela gave us both a gift, which wasn't required, Angela, but it was very thoughtful of you. And she gave me this. Look at that hand embroidery. I've taken some photos of the embroidery. It is gorgeous, and it's got bees on the back, and it's got the stripy inside, and it's a gorgeous, generously sized drawstring bag. I'm holding the wrong ends there. There we go. Ta-da! And inside, I can't remember everything she gave me. She gave me some soap. There's a lovely wooden heart. And I've put things away a bit. But Angela, thank you so much. I love this. It's gorgeous. And particularly, I'm sort of inspired by that gorgeous embroidery on the front, because if I go like that, it might be my thumbnail. There's no persuading YouTube, you know, what your thumbnail is. So I keep getting flashes going across my eyes. It's not migraine, it's birds on the feeder, because I think they've started laying, and their blue tits starting to look a bit tatty, and you know that's when they're working their socks off. They don't wear socks, but you know what I mean. Their little feathers off, literally. So thank you to Angela and Andy. Yes, inside the bag there was rose and pink peppercorn, I'm going to say sauce, soap, and that's in my knicker drawer. Now, one of the things, and I had intended to buy this, but I was given it as a gift, is this lovely bag. And it says on it, this is the rainbow version. They do a black and white version as well. I'm not weird, you know, but I'm limited edition. And I said, I'd love one of those, please. Can you put me one aside? But I had every intention, and then in the excitement, and they also gave me, bless them, a mug with the same design on. So thank you. Now what I'm thinking, the mug's probably a bit heavy for me to use with liquid in. So I'm going to make a donation, because it's Angela's got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and it's Ehlers-Danlos month. You may have seen, if you follow Angela, and I know a lot of you do, on Instagram, they have been posting on there about the fact it's their sort of month, and I will donate to the charity, because what I'd like to do is give the mug away, if that's all right with you. And but I'm keeping the bag because I love the bag. Nobody's having that. And then I'm getting all topsy-turvy now. It doesn't matter to you what order I bought things in, but the last thing I bought before I left, oh no, it's penultimate thing I bought, was I went back to their store and I bought this, which is Autumn Zebra. And it's got a D in it, zebra. And it's gorgeous colours. And the reason I bought it is purely because Stuart Hillard, now you may know Stuart if you watched the very first Sewing Bee. I don't know if he's the only man on that one, but anyway, he's just lovely. And he's on Sewing Street, which I watch sometimes, never live, because I'm never up early enough. I know, it finishes at 1 o'clock. Sometimes I catch the end of it. I've never bought from them. I just watched it when him or John Scott are there, and I don't mind one of the lady presenters. The other one gets on my nerves a bit, so I don't watch her. I shouldn't say that, should I? I'm going to. But yeah, and he'd been to the Spring into Wool, I think, at Leeds, was it, or the northeast? Anyway, the yarn show that was just before Wonderwool. And he came back and he caked this up, and it looked absolutely gorgeous in the cake. And he mentioned that he bought it, and I thought, I'm going to have that, because it's actually going to go with some other bright things I've got, which I won't go into now, that I might be making another house jumper out of. All these plans. So, thank you, Angela and Andy. Angela came and had, when we met and had our lunch break, Angela came and joined us there, and it was really nice us all being together. I don't know what order to do this. I'm inclined to do it in the order I've ordered it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with what I've got in front of me. So let's talk about Wonderwool. I've already started talking about it. Sal bought me, gave me, and she's always giving me stuff. She's given me some lovely red merino and cashmere by Debbie Bliss that she started knitting up and she decided she no longer wanted. She bought me that, and what I've done is I've undone it. I've reskeined the bits that had been knitted up because they were crinkly, and I got time to hang them on the line, and they're now bagged up, and unfortunately I've shoved them somewhere I can't reach, so I'll show you those the other time. She also gave me 2 skeins of pink yarn, which will go into my pink blanket, and some pale pink and another pale pink. I think I must own now half of what Sal originally owned with what she's given me, and I keep trying to do yarn swaps with her, don't I? But she won't let me, or I need to find something that she might be interested that I've got. I fully intend to go through all my bags this summer, get them down, say 3 at a time, and go through them and make sure that my Ravelry stash is up to date. So, and then Sal also gave me 2 books, which I'm not going to show you this time, but again, because they've been put away temporarily. One's on the shelf in the other room, and the other one's with the wall, and I'll show you that next time. Otherwise we'll just, you're going to fall asleep really with your head hitting the table. So we got, I hate it when people say start sentences with so. I put Penny on our insurance to drive our van, and she did really well. And we went to Wonderwool on the Sunday, as you know, and we had a lovely journey there, no rain, and when we pulled up and parked, it was 3 minutes past 10, and that was perfect really, because they just opened the doors. I had this on because it was quite chilly the day before, and it was forecast to be about 17 degrees in Bilth, but it ended up being a lot warmer by the end of the day. But of course it can be quite cold in the sheds. I'm sure when you've had a really hot spell, the sheds eventually heat up, but I think it was a bit too early in the year for them to be heated. And Wonderwool wasn't as busy this Sunday. It was the Pope's service, funeral, and there were a couple of sporting events on. So whether that meant a difference, I don't know. There's plenty of people there, but it wasn't as crowded as... it wasn't overcrowded. It wasn't as busy as it had been the 2 previous Sundays when we've been. So we parked up, went to the loo, as you do, and then I went straight to look at the knitting shed, because I keep looking at their gorgeous colours. I don't know what I would make out of any of their colours, because it's mainly merino. That they do a variety of bases, but their colours are just really, really nice. Anyway, I had to come away in the end because I couldn't make a decision. I wanted to buy the yarn for the Glow Hair shawl by Stephen West, called something like that. And now I've got the yarn for it, but from a completely different source, and I'll share that with you in the next episode so that I don't overload you. So we went out from the knitting shed and we went into the main sheds, we went and said, and I took Angela of Attic Spin Dye again, a bag of bits and pieces for her to put in her slow stitch kits or give away to charity if it's not appropriate. So, and then we went back to see her a bit later. We wandered round, and the first thing, and I was being really good. Looked at some of the dyers I'd not seen before, and a couple of people I wanted to visit I missed. James Makes Yarns. I wanted to go to see him because he does bright colours, and I wanted a bright colour, a bit like the zebra I've just bought. I didn't notice, and I'd looked them up the night before. I was getting quite frustrated with myself when I got home. And I also wanted to visit Lorette Crafts, and I didn't go past her that I noticed. So yet again, I spent time going round like a kid in a sweet shop, and that is very true analogy, good analogy for me at Wonderwool. That all the nice things you could easily buy and be swayed on colour and feel alone. But what more is there with wool? Anyway, I'm sure that my first purchase, sorry about my clanging of my chair, wasn't until after we'd met for lunch. Sal had found us a table. We thought we'd found a table, and then Penny went to get us a drink and realised, go and get Angela from Attic Spin Dye to the table, and realised that Sal was already sat up the other end with a much more accessible table for us. And then as we sat down, Anita and Paula joined us, and then Angela from Yarn and Yarns joined us as well. So there was 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us eventually. That was really nice to have a chatter for about half an hour. Angela had found me, because I did say, if you see me wearing this jumper, come and have a stroke. And I was sat there looking at, I can't remember which stall I was in, and she went like this, hello. And that was lovely. And I'll put a photograph in here that her friend took of the two of us, because I realised when I said tra, might see you later, that I hadn't had terrible at taking photographs. I just forget all the time. So yes, a friend took some photographs of us, and I'll put one in here, and it was lovely to see her, have a quick chat, and then saw her a bit later as well. And Angela spent the whole weekend there, so hopefully she had a good time as well. But I don't think I'd bought anything up to that point. Anyway, it doesn't matter, does it? Last year, just up from Attic Spin on that back wall in the big sheds, there was a company called We County Yarns, and Penny had bought one of their gradients off them, but they pick and mix. What they do the whole JC Rennie range in like 25 gram, I think it is, or 20 gram little balls, and they sell them in ready-made gradients, mixes, or you can pick and mix your own. And Penny saw this and she showed me. I'm sorry about the crinkling. And I bought that. I'm not taking it out of the thing because it's... I'll never get it back in. So it starts purple, and it goes through to dark brown, going through orange and pink on the way. So you get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And there was a big range of these. Penny bought another one, different one to me, that had blues and greys in it. The one she showed me initially, she picked up and said, oh, isn't that nice? Because we both like autumnal colours. I think it was slightly different to this, but then I thought, no, I want this, because that's a bit different to what I normally go for wearing, with their jeweller colours. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to do that, I want to do one of the Rachel Ilsley, or I've got a couple of the 4-ply patterns from Jen Steinglass that I can use, because they quite often use spin cycle that the American designers do anyway, because Rachel Ilsley's in the UK. Unwind Knitwear is her company. I'm sure you already know that, but I've got her at Ashmore, I think it is, and it's a beautiful yoke. And Spin Cycle, so they're not readily available, they're very expensive for us to buy over here, and they do beautiful gradient type or colour change yarns. So that is sort of the next best thing really, and it's Josie Russell is known to be good quality yarn. It's spun in Scotland, hence the Wee County yarns. And then the lovely lady there helped me choose my contrast wool. Now I had navy on the other day, and it went nicely with that shirt I was wearing, didn't it? The sea salt one. Also, you told me, thank you very much. And this is like it's a navy, but it's a nice, not a dull navy. There was a teal that was close to, but I'm not really. I don't think teal would be right for me. So if we put those two together, which I can never do, I think they're going to look really nice as a pairing. I just need to do a swatch. So this is Kinross 4-ply by Wee County Yarns, and she said it's superfine lamb's wool. And the lady whose name I didn't get, unfortunately, said it's spun literally just up the road from them. So this is, I think it's saying so all the time. It's 205 metres for 50 grams. So 4-ply, and that's the shade navy. 100% wool, hand spun, hand wash only, it's not super wash. And that suits me fine as well. And also I'm hoping, because this is dark, I put a few colour thingy sheets in and don't wash it too warm, then it's not going to fade or dull any of those. So because I'm wide but short, I bought 8 of those because I thought actually navy's a really useful colour to have in 4-ply mittens or hat if I've got enough, and if I've got enough left over. And there's their bag, Wee County Yarns. They're online. I did a pick and mix online. I do these gorgeous packs, and they were £15 each, which I thought was very reasonable because it's all done for you. And then you get a yarn care leaflet as well about the best way to look after your yarns, about soaking it for something. Our Kinross land wool and the mini balls have been wound from the cone, which means that they've still got the natural lanolin, sorry, and spinning oils are still on the wool, a bit like Holst, super soft. I'd like to be fair, I mean I haven't opened the JC Rennie, but the lamb's wool does feel quite soft already. Do I regret buying that? No, I don't. Do I regret buying any of them? I've got a slight regret about one of them, which I'll tell you about in a minute. So, that was my first purchase. And of course, once you open the floodgates and you've had your hand in your purse, there's no going back. We went round and round and round and round and had a look round, and we just happened to come across Ginger Pink, who I had the custom dye from in ginger and pink from the Christmas wool show, and I showed it you a few weeks ago because Kerry had done the dye for me and sent it me early March I think, or late February. But I saw this. It's coming out, it is pinkish. It's like a milk chocolate. And I just loved it. I said, how many have you got? She said, 4. I'll have them. It was lovely to see her. And both Sal and Kerry had the Ilha pattern. And it's not dissimilar to the ranunculus in the fact it's got a very nice lace yoke. Sal's was long sleeved, And the one Kerry had on was short sleeved, and she got a long sleeve stripy t-shirt underneath it. And it is one of the jumpers I'd like to have a go at soon. Right, so this is Ginger Pink from Somerset. Not too far from me really, down the M5. This is from John Arbon's mill. And in fact, when I tried to look her up online, because she said she got a podcast, I couldn't find her. But she's on Instagram as Ginger Pig. She does plant dyed yarn, and she was giving a talk at John Arbon on the John Arbon channel about plant dyeing. So this is the Exmoor Sock 4-ply. I'll tell you what, it's a plump 4-ply. Really, it's nice and soft. And it's 60% Exmoor Blueface, 20% Corriedale, 10% Zorballs, and 10% nylon. And I presume that makes it suitable for socks because of the nylon. And you get 400 metres for 100 grams. And I know my mum's probably shaking her head at me going, what are you going to use? I mean, 400 isn't enough for a jumper for me. But I'm thinking waistcoat. I just love the colour. Can you see though? Can you see why I love the colour? It's not solid, it's tonal. And I think that's the combination of the dyes and the type of the mix of wool. So I've got 4 of those. Do I regret buying those? No, I don't. And then opposite, there was Zoe's buttons, and she comes from Somerset too. Because Kevin was in the corner a bit, and she said they'd done all right at the weekend. She said, but they were tucked away. But she said the light was good where they were, but they were tucked away a bit. And I think you have to be careful where you place sometimes in these yard shows, don't you? Because we nearly didn't see her, and that would have been 3 people I wanted to see that I didn't. Anyway, luckily we did. Opposite her was Zoe's buttons, and she makes these gorgeous ceramic buttons, and I wanted some for my felted tweed. It's almost a jacket, my cardigan that's in yellow, and the buttons are faded. Plastic buttons are faded, even though they've been in the wardrobe. Anyway, she hadn't got anything there, and she said, what I've realised is I need to do smaller buttons, taking feedback from people. Over the weekend, I need to do smaller buttons that could go on your standard garment, not a jacket or something bigger, because she's got a lot of statement buttons, and the colours were beautiful, but she hadn't got anything. I was looking for an aqua to go, because my felted tweed yellow has got like neps of like little bits of aqua and blue in them, and I wanted to take that colour and put it into the buttons. So my ginger pink yarn is being held in my I'm Not Weird gorgeous mag. And then I was going past Mothy and the Squid, and Gillian had done a colour now that she'd been doing for ages called That's Enough. Can't remember what the origins were. Something was going on in the community at the time, and I think, anyway, I had a mini in it, because I bought quite a few mini packs off her at one point, and I thought I'll get a mini and I'll put it in my pink blanket, which she's had no progress on it. I did tip back 2 rows the other day, so I bought this. Nice and floppy, and I need to show it you close up. Now it's gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous, and it's got the flecks of white. And she said they're cotton, but she says on the thing that they're bamboo. Oh no, she said bamboo, it's cotton. 87% superwash merino, 13% Pima cotton. And it gives you that barber pole, a bit like the zebra, which I have here, which has got the black in it, barber pole. That's got not a dissimilar thing in there. And it wasn't what I wanted. And I regret buying this in a way because it was a bit more expensive. It was £25. I don't see why we shouldn't talk about prices. Can't remember how much the ginger pink cost me. But I wanted superwash merino nylon to go with the other things in there. But is it really going to make a difference? No. I still get the same length. It's not heavier. It actually feels really, really soft and beautiful. And I'll tell you what, it'll make a lovely summer top. Not necessarily this colour. But yeah, and I love the colours in it. And I bought it because it was getting towards about 2 o'clock on the Sunday, and I think it shuts at 4. And she's still got loads of stuff, and a lot of the dyers still had a lot of stuff. I know they're encouraged to bring more than they need, so it doesn't look like their stocks are depleted. And she was all on her own at that point, and she's come all the way from Scotland. And I just thought, oh, poor Gillian. She had the Aran, but I didn't want the Aran in merino nylon. And she might have had the double knitting as well, but I didn't want that because I'm holding 2 strands together already. So yeah, so do I regret buying this? Only because it's not merino nylon. Still love the colours, but yeah. I went to look at Shannon from Blue Fern Yarns, and I had to leave because she had a lilac fade trios, quite a few trios on her stand. She had a grey one, and she had a lilac one, and I absolutely loved them both. And I thought, I've got no plan to use anything like that. If I'd come with a plan to have 3, a gradient of 3, fair enough, but I can't. I can always buy it off her in my no-buy yarn later on, but at this moment in time, I don't have anything. I hadn't written any notes about what takes what in quantities, so I just turned my back on her. Otherwise, I was sorely tempted, and there was a few like that because they are, aren't they? I mean, you go for that reason. You go to look, you go to buy, hopefully sometimes. And then I'll get my final purchase. I didn't buy any nicky nacky news, did I? Oh yeah, I bought a keyring, and that's still in my handbag. Little Welsh keyring. I'll have to find that and show you, or put a photograph up. I finished where I started. At the knitting shed. Try not to make this sound too noisy. Don't ask me what I'm going to use these for. I was determined to buy something from them, and I went back and I thought, I'm going to give up on the Stephen West. I've got plans for that because I've got some Attic spin dye wool that I bought for the Foliosa when I went to the Christmas show, and I've changed my mind about that, and I'm going to use it in this glow hair, whatever it's called. It's not called that. I went back to them and I settled on, I keep looking at this colour online, and it's called Kerfuffle. I'm going to go with that. No. They don't go, they're to the wrong tone. This is called Kerfuffle. I love it to bits. I had another, they do a few similar colours, different names. Now this is Merino Mohair Sock. This is 55% superwash merino, 20% kid mohair, and 25% nylon. There's a very, very, very slight haze on it, and I think it might be similar to what Andy made for me, and Special Green, that I have made a cowl out of that I've got to block. I started wearing it, but it needs blocking now the summer's here. That was merino and mohair and nylon. It feels lovely and soft. It's got oranges and pinks in it, and I decided to to buy, not milk and honey. And the two go quite well together. Now, whether I'll put them together, I don't know. But I like that. Might be a bit of... Oh. I was told categorically by Sal and Penny, when I saw the red that Sal sent me, I said, oh, that might be a bit blue for me, actually. I was saying, you know, trying to be rude. And she said, no, they put it up against me, said that really suits you. And I said, I thought it might be a bit blue for me. And they said, no, you don't even know what you think suits you. So that got me told. So that's lovely. It's the same yarn. And it's got lovely flecks of, well, you can see like honey colour, brown. Really, really pretty. So those were my last two purchases from there. There is one there is more incoming, but I'm going to tell you next time because I haven't opened it yet, because it's going to go. And I'm stopping again now. I'm stopping. My rules are, unless I'm making something for somebody else and I haven't got the right yarn, either there's a baby coming up and I want to make them something, or I'm going to finish something, then I won't be buying any more yarn because I am sinking. Now, and then, so, yeah, I really, really enjoyed Wonderwool. I absolutely love it. We spent all day there. We came home, it was a bit later actually, but near 3:30. And Penny drove home again. It was great. And we got home. We probably got home about 5:30 actually, by the time we got in the car and everything. And that's about average for us. And Penny's dog, Harley, she's a cute border terrier. She'd spent the day with Tom. And although she was happy enough with Tom, especially since she had Wait Josie's best ham for lunch, Tom had put Penny's car on our drive because otherwise on the road, because we live on a junction. It's in an estate, so it's not too busy. Weekdays though, you get lorries coming past and buses, not so much on the Sunday. Anyway, she could see her own car through the gate, so she saw movement like somebody walking past. She was lying there looking to the gate, barking. So Tom, every now and again, he'd say, come here, you know, and I'd have a cuddle, and then she'd go back outside. But I mean, she lay in all parts of the garden. She didn't do that all the time, but it's funny. She knows her own car. So yes, there we go. And I really enjoyed it. Did I mention that I've had the Craft House Magic Liberty Fat Quarters for the month, and I'll put a photograph in here. I've had to just reseal that up because I'm worse than usual for storage at the moment, as you can imagine, that I can reach. And then I was sat here the other day and Glenda sent me a lovely gift, a lovely card, and she sent me a pattern holder, and Glenda lives in Edinburgh, a pattern holder, you know, with a magnetic strip on, so you can put your paper patterns, because I do use paper patterns, I print them out and then write all over them, etc. And some tartan napkins from Scotland, which is brilliant, and a lovely note. So thank you, Glenda, thank you very much. It was a lovely surprise. I wasn't expecting it, and it made me smile all day. You lot are generous, so generous, you know. I think knitting community are very good. Now, I saw somebody saying, oh, the quilting community is the best. I thought, I think it's crafters generally, because if we're enthusiastic, we tend to overbuy and things get, you know, given, taken. You know, we've always got something we could pass on to somebody in need, or that they need to finish something, or for whatever reason. So I just love being part of this community, and I'm so pleased that Penny hopefully will drive again next year, because I'd hate to give up going to Wonderwool, because it's one of my favourite days of the year. It really is. Right, well, we have 2 winners to announce and a new giveaway. So first of all, for April, I asked you to put the word blossom into the comment, and I did a random comment generator a little while ago today, and the winner is Claire Rogers. Claire, hello. You're in the UK, aren't you, as I well know, and I think I've got your address, so I'll just double check that with you, and I will send you a gift. It'll be a bag and a couple of bits and pieces. Thank you very much for entering, everybody. It was most kind of you to join in with the fun, and there'll be a new one in what I've decided to do, excuse me, for May, is the word lupins, because my lupins are coming up brilliantly this year, but they've got a bit of mildew, and apparently it's because we've had a warm, sudden warm, dry spell, and they hadn't been watered for a bit. Infrequent watering doesn't work for them. It doesn't harm the flowers, because the lupin flowers, if you grow them, or I see them wild up the road from here. They're quite long lasting, and the bees absolutely adore them, so I like having lupins. And my mum loves the smell of them because quite a peppery smell. So yes, mention the word lupins please in this episode only, and you will be entered into the draw for the winner for May. And now the 800 subs, and what I did, I wrote all the names down in a book because I spread it over 3 episodes, and I picked up everybody who commented in any of those. But if you commented in more than one, using the word spring, you didn't get a double entry or anything. So, and then I said, I randomly numbered them. 1 to, I think it was 55, which I think is very good. Yeah, something like that, 55. And I said to Tom, choose a number, and he chose 26, which is his birthday. And the winner of that, and I don't know where you come from, Patty, is Patty-U9C. I'll put that on the screen as well. So Patty, if you want to get in touch with me, thank you very much for entering, and thank you to everybody who entered. If you get in touch with me, Patty, and then we'll arrange a gift to go out to you soon. So yes, so we had a great day. Penny said she enjoyed herself too. Pip couldn't make it, unfortunately. Pip, I'm really, really sorry you couldn't make it. I'm going to send you the little mouse this week, and I did think of you when we sat there having our dinner. At least you didn't get accosted by Sal this time. I have the evidence from the photos of her trying to lick your face the year before. Or maybe she should try to give you a cuddle. I don't know. Who knows? Right, let's have just a brief chat, because I've been talking now for 53 minutes. It's going to be an hour by the time I finish. And as usual, I've probably gone bouncing like a rubber ball, bouncing back to you. Who sang that? Bobby V? Bit before my time, but so I don't know why I know that fact. But yeah, I love Advents, and I've had Advents now probably for the last 6 years. I started out by doing my own Advents that I sold, because I had lots and lots of mini skeins and yarns, single skeins I'd bought, and I thought, right, I'm going to make 10 gram minis, and I've done that with the yarn bags more recently. But before I started making the bags, before I had my sewing machine, I sold 10, I think, on Etsy, and I just put a box together with so many grams of yarn made out, all labelled of what they were. I think there were 10 grams and 5 grams mixes with a few extras in, and they went down very well. I sold them all, and I had great fun doing it. And then I bought Advents after that, and because we can never think what to buy me Christmas, birthday. Yeah, I do like buying things. I do like buying wool most of all. So I've had Advent, and one year I had about 6 Advents because I did 3 swaps, and I bought 3 commercial ones. But I have still got that City Limits jumper, and it's behind me while I'm going like that. It's lovely, and I think that's going to be well worth the money because they all go together. It's lovely. And last year, in 2023, I had the Camel's Yarn one, Moorland Sea or something. That's beautiful as well. That's in non-superwash merino. Last year I had the skein and stitch in the same yarn, and they're very similar colours. Not all of them, but they are similar tones. I can use them together probably because it's the way that the dye takes the that particular yarn. I had 2 last year because I had the needle and thread one as well, Flower Power, and I've not used that yet. And I had her weekly one and her daily one. So I've absolutely gone overboard with Advents, and I love opening them. So when the Skein and Stitch said they were announcing theirs, I liked it, and I decided I don't think I liked it enough to buy it. Some of it was to do with the price, but because I've still got the 2 non-superwash which I can put together, maybe another stripe, maybe a striped cardigan this time, or I think it'd be a shame to put them into a blanket because they were so expensive. So I'm a bit sort of, I don't know what to do with them, and I want to. I've got to find the perfect project to go with them because of their cost. And then I looked around at some of them, and they're all about £165, and it varies whether you get extras or not. Some you don't get any extras with. And then I looked at, I was looking on Botanical yarns, which is what this is mainly made from, and Sophie's yarns are beautiful. And her Advent was something like 237. Now, I'm not going to say what was in there because I can't remember whether it included a bag or not. I'm not sure. So I'm not going to say, oh, that was just the yarn, because I can't remember and I should have written it down. And I thought, that is just getting too much. And I don't know what you feel about it. I mean, I don't take anything away from the dyers, because we looked at minis the other day. There was like £6.25 one set of minis were. Excuse me, I need to get rid of the starlings off my fat balls, off my best fat balls. He's not going to take any notice of me. He's not even gone away with a big chunk in his beak. I don't mind them eating some, but they just obliterate them all with their big spiky beaks, and of course they come 10 at a time. But anyway, back to Advents. £6.25 for a mini, and Penny said to me, don't you think that's quite a lot really? When only a couple of years ago we were paying £12 for a whole skein. And I know that the dyers are only passing on their cost to us. It's not like they're making mega profits out of it. I don't think the markup, is that great. I've never looked into it, So I think I'm going to decide. I don't know what you think about Advents. Are they going to price themselves out the market? I love them. I really want to buy one. I don't need one, so I'm not going to buy one. I don't want one that much that, I did think I might do a little bit of another thing for the Stroke Association with some spare bits and pieces I've got that's never been knitted up, and see if there's any interest in that. So people have like a surprise bag, like I've done before, because I quite enjoy doing that. I quite enjoy the organisation of it, or just the wool. That's fine as well. But I don't know. I mean, I know there's a couple of you that love buying Advents as well, and there's one lady, I won't mention her name in particular, but you know who you are, that spoils herself last year, and why not, with Advents. And I'm thinking, are they going to get priced out the market? Are they worth it? What do you make with them? All these questions around them, and it's just got me thinking that I'm not going to bother this year. I think what I might do is buy a couple of things in November near my birthday or whatever,
and then get Tom to put it away and I've forgotten what I've got, you know, and then just get something out, or say to somebody, here's some money, go and choose me something. Do you know what I mean? People know what I like. I could give some money to Penny and say, spend that online for me, wrap it up, and I'll have it as my Christmas present from Tom. I'm not asking him to make the choice. I'd end up with emerald greens and royal blues, and they really don't suit me. So I've got nothing really to say about it, as in, I don't want to be negative, but I don't think I'm going to do it this year. One of my first ones was from Family Tree Yarns, and there was a little sweet in it every day. You don't get any of that now. I know some people don't want that. I enjoy them because I like chocolate, but the little bits and pieces, and as costs have gone up for them, you don't get as many extras and things, and it's the element of surprise that I really enjoy. Some people don't like surprises. Who was I watching the other day? Oh, Leslie from Not Quite Enough Yarn, and she said she'd had a surprise. She'd had a birthday celebration, and but a surprise cake. And I'm not going, why don't you like surprises, Leslie? You know, talk to the screen while she's on there, one-way conversation again, and I, you know, each to their own. But yeah, I don't mind as long as it's something I like, and that's the danger. Well, I'm going to stop waffling, but I'd love to know your views and what you think, and whether you've never bought an advent purely because it's based on the cost, and I do not blame you. Apparently the government are going to write to people in receipt of PIP, personal independence payment, if you're disabled, because they're trying to overhaul it, and they're obviously trying to get a lot of people off it because it's very expensive. And they're going to give you £10. And I don't know if this is true because I saw this from a lady on Instagram, and who knows what's true and what isn't true on social media. They say they'll pay you £10 if you tell them what you spend your PIP on. Well, personally, I would tell them to pip off, because it's none of their business. If you're going to give me money, it's none of your business. I mean, we've just bought a car that's specially adapted, and that's several years' worth of mobility, let alone personal care, that I get to buy that, because we're a captive market. And I said, well, do you think they'd take mine off me? I said, I just bought wool. I mean, Mum's nodding, aren't you, Mother? Mum's coming tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about cutting out a blouse for me, do a bit of sewing. Not tomorrow, but Mum's going to cut it out before she has her hip hop, which hopefully will be in the summer. And then I'm going to do some sewing from tomorrow afternoon onwards. I want to get onto the quilting. I'll go now. You've been with me 62 minutes. A tiny bit of that will be cut out when I go backwards and forwards. But otherwise, thank you for your patience. Thank you for joining me. I'll put what photographs I've got of Wonderwool up, because Sal took some. And I'm sorry, I'm just so useless. I should have at least took photographs of the people I bought from. I just get so childish. And poor Penny, I don't know how she puts up with me. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Right, I'm going. I'll speak to you soon. Don't forget to enter the thing. And please, if you're a winner, get in touch with me to confirm your address. My email's down below. Or you can contact me on Ravelry or Instagram on private message. It's up to you. Don't put your address on here. Thank you very much. I will speak to you soon. Bye.